What's up everyone, Lion Roar here, and I think it is the understatement of the year to say that Empires and Puzzles has gone astray. And I have found that my playing time has been going to two other games that are not only more fun, but they're a much better value for the money if I'm going to be spending money on a game. So I'm here today to share the 5 reasons why I haven't really been playing Empires and Puzzles anymore, and all the reasons why I've been playing these two other games. Alright, so I want to start off by saying I don't really have anything against Empires and Puzzles. It's been a fun game during the time that I've played it, and honestly it's been really great for this channel. It's how I got my start making YouTube videos, and so for that, of course, I'm very, very appreciative. But it's an older game now, and you know, with them trying to keep up with the times, they've been making changes and releasing new heroes in a way that I think has led to exhaustion, on my part anyway. And also just, I think some of the decisions were kind of risky and didn't pay off for them. I feel like they're losing a lot of their player base recently. And if you want to go check out some recent videos by Mr. Spock, he's covered it in great detail. The biggest changes that have come recently. And I couldn't have expressed it any better. Quite honestly, I'm so exhausted with Empires and Puzzles. Like, I didn't even have it in me to make a video like that. So make sure to check out his video, give him likes, subscribe to him. He's fantastic. He's got some of the best info out there. But here's the 5 reasons why I've been like gravitating away from Empires and Puzzles and found myself playing other games a lot more. If you've been watching this channel, you've probably seen what some of those other games are, which I'm going to cover in a minute, and why I have been covering those games. But first, with Empires and Puzzles, I just want to list the 5 reasons why I just have found myself not as interested. The first being that every hero they released is seemingly more overpowered than the one they released before it. Now, of course, if Empires and Puzzles is going to remain relevant, they do need to release new and interesting heroes. If they released worse heroes, then why would you ever summon? But the problem is it's on the other end of the extreme. They're so overpowered that I still have no reason to summon, and quite honestly, I haven't really been doing any major summoning for like a year and a half. And that's because why would I get the next hero that's overpowered if the one right after it is going to make it obsolete right away? It's like you need to find that happy medium in between where sure, they're interesting and different. How about that? Like, they're different. They're bringing something new to the game that's about on par, equal, maybe just slightly better than the heroes that came before it. But unfortunately, it's just like every hero that comes out makes the ones before it obsolete. The second thing is the Small Giant Games has just been absolutely greedy. Like, I am really hesitant to say something like that, but like, come on guys, like the last couple of years, it is just like, I think they've seen their player base shrinking, so they've responded by just like trying to find out how they could snatch every last dime they can from every whale left in the game, and they're just sucking everybody dry. It's had the opposite effect. Like with me, I used to spend money on this game and I stopped. Like, I haven't been spending money for a year and a half, not a single penny on Empires and Puzzles, because why? Like, I'm not gonna give them the satisfaction. Like, I stopped after like and I'm not a whale, but you know, I would save up for particular heroes that I really liked, and I would go after them. So Krampus, a couple of years ago, a year and a half ago, I came out with a really awesome costume that I really wanted, and I went after it, and got it, and they immediately nerfed it. So like, it's like they put something out there, it's flashy, and then they take all the money, and then they destroy the hero. And that leads to another one of my reasons, which I'm going to get to in a moment. But in the past, when I felt like Small Giant Games was kind of going astray with some of the decisions they were making with that, like nerfing willy-nilly and stuff like that, I would give feedback that I felt like they listened to. In fact, I had a series of videos a few years ago talking about how I thought they made a wrong decision, but how to make it right in the future. And they implemented some of my suggestions, which I don't know if it was my videos they listened to, but the community in general they listened to. And so I felt like they were listening to feedback. Now, I don't think they listen to a single thing they're saying, or that we're saying. First of all, in beta, which I took part in for a little bit until I realized like they didn't listen to the beta players at all. Like they definitely don't listen to people who are playtesting. Like not at all. And it's been a repeated thing. And then not only that, but like the most recent changes, the huge changes, the biggest changes in Empires and Puzzles history that they're coming out with, they don't even playtest in beta. They're just like, screw the beta players. We're just gonna like change the whole game, and we don't know if it's good or bad or what's gonna happen, but here it is. Right? My next reason is that the value for the money in the game is atrocious. You have to summon a lot. You have to spend a lot of money to get the hero that you want. And at this point, they're releasing so many heroes, and it takes so much money to get any individual one that you can't really build a top tier roster unless you are either in debt in a way that's not financially healthy for you, or you're in like the top 1% of like earners in this country and you're just like, whatever, like I care about this game more than anything. And then lastly, and this is what I was getting to a little bit earlier, they boost and nerf heroes in this game like I have never seen in any other game. Other games, to me, it feels like they're really careful, making sure that when they release something, it's going to be okay and healthy for the game. And other games make mistakes too, and Empires and Puzzles does. But like lately, they just seem to be boosting and nerfing at a rate that is unsustainable. Like, what are you even summoning for? Why are you even putting money into the game if they're just going to change everything? There's not predictability. Like that's how, when you're making decisions about resources in this game, it's got to be based on some level of predictability. Like I'm going to use this hero for this situation. I know this hero is good, so I'm going to put all my resources into it. But if they just go and change something, this just devalues all the heroes in the game and you can't get around it. There's a sort of fake boosting with this. And what I mean by that is like they try to pretend like, oh yes, we're boosting all these other heroes. If we have to nerf this one, we're boosting all these other heroes. But it doesn't change the fact that it devalues all those heroes. I want to give you an example. So let's say I get a really awesome hero and I put a lot of resources into it and then they nerf it. I wasted those resources and it's their fault. But not only that, there was an opportunity cost. I did not put those resources into other heroes. The other heroes that they just boosted. So I lost out on, leveling them up too. So like, it doesn't matter that they pretend like they're boosting other heroes. You lost no matter what. I lost no matter what. Okay, so let me show you the two games that I've been playing instead because they are 180 degrees different than what Small Giant Games has been doing. The first game is Gemstone Legends, and this shouldn't be a surprise if you've been following my channel because I've been playing it for a couple of years, and literally thousands of Empires and Puzzles players have come over to play this one as well. And if you'd like to join, please use the link in the description of this video because with my link you get a bunch of free stuff, including an epic hero named Moralia. Of course, starting fast in any game is really important, and that's how you do it. So why have so many players come over from Empires and Puzzles? Let me tell you. First of all, it is so fun. It is more fun, in my opinion, than Empires and Puzzles because they do a lot more right. It is the most similar to Empires and Puzzles in that it is a gemstone matching game, but some of the mechanics being different. You can watch some of my early videos to see how and why, but like one of the things is there's no wasted gems. You always get some value out of a match you make, and the better you do at matching, the more value you get, but there's no bad boards. You do not get bad boards in this game. In fact, if you're really good with your heroes and putting synergies together, you're going to maximize your ability to take advantage of the tiles on the board without ever getting screwed. So that's one thing that I find really awesome and first attracted me to this game. Also, the heroes are all balanced very well. Let me jump into the game and show you what I mean here. So I'm going to show you some of the heroes that I have. And this is a real rock, paper, scissors type of game in that none of the heroes are so overpowered that you must have that hero in order to be able to function. You can put together synergies and teams in a way that you can beat any other team in the game. You just have to really know what you're doing in order to do that. Also, this game is really friendly to free-to-play and cheap-to-play players Because you can take rare heroes and ascend them all the way up to 6 stars. And I've got several here that I've really worked on. Epic heroes. You know, these come out as 3-star heroes, 4-star heroes, but you can take them all the way up. So if you're cheap to play or free to play and you don't get a lot of legendary heroes, that's okay, because you can beat people with legendary heroes if you grind, which is really, really cool. Also, Strybog Games is really in tune with its player base. And this is one thing I really love about them. They are actually listening and they're actually communicating, asking us our opinion on things and what we want all the time. So much so that they're actually coming out with a legendary lion roar hero. Like me. Yes, I'm going to be in the game. I've never seen a game do that. I've never had another game interact with me like Strybog Games does. And I think that's super cool. It's making it like, this is probably one of the best community feels that I've ever gotten from a game. Everybody is really tight and connected, including the programmers and the developers, which I think is super cool. And, you know, that brings me to my last point. They've got some really high quality programmers. Oftentimes, like in Empires and Puzzles, they've had bugs with things. You know, they've not listened to feedback or tested things well, and they come out with a hero that's overpowered or doesn't work right or something. Not the case here. Everything they come out with, there's like never bugs. Everything is well tested. They rarely have to go nerf or boost any heroes. Once in a while they will, but they're very careful with what they do, and they certainly don't make you feel like you lose value. Love this game. I love this game. And if you're just curious in seeing what some of the gameplay looks like, I can hop in here and just show you a quick match. So you know what I'm talking about here. I'm just going to run it on auto because it's hard for me to like talk and play at the same time. But this is kind of like what this looks like here. I'm in the arena facing another opponent here. And if I was really playing carefully, which I don't have to because this team is quite a bit underpowered compared to mine, I would be making more careful decisions with my gemstones, but you can see how it works here. You can make lots of matches here. They don't necessarily have to be in the colors of the heroes you have. Of course, it helps because it charges up their mana, but it's going to do damage no matter what, which I think is really cool. All right, awesome. Let's check out the next game. Bloodline Heroes of Lithis is another game that I've been finding myself spending more and more time on. And of course, if you want to download the game, there is a link in the description of this video where you get free gold and diamonds. So again, if you want to start a game, you want to start it fast, so make sure to use that link. But this game is very different from both Empires and Puzzles and Gemstone Legends in that it is not a tile matching game. It is more of an action RPG game. So yes, there's still all the same resource management, but it is live fighting, which I think is really, really cool. I'm going to show you that in just a moment. But why I like this game a lot and why so many other players are also coming over to this one is because, first of all, it's just an absolutely beautiful game. The graphics and the animations are like second to none. Also, there's a mechanic in this game that's different from any other game that I've ever seen, and that is this marriage mechanic that they have. And I'm going to jump into the game here to show you what I mean by that. But basically, when you summon champions, you can actually marry them together to make offspring, which not only have different looks, because yes, you can get hybrids with different looks, but they also have different traits, and they inherit traits from each of the parents, which I think is a really cool and interesting mechanic. But let me show you my champions here. You can see I have a whole lot of them. And there is this one right here in the middle. This is a Devala, a female Devala, that you can see right there with like the white hair and the crown of thorns. And then there's another one down here that is a champion with horns. And so like when I married them together, I got this. So cool. And you can see like the spiraling magic around the arms there. That's because they have traits from each of the parents, and you can actually do multiple marriages, which I think is interesting to get some of the best traits in the game on one champion. So that is such a weird and cool mechanic. Like, I love that. It makes it so that there's like I think at this point, over 1,000 different hybrids that you can get from marrying your champions together. But not only that, this game is just really friendly for free-to-play and cheap-to-play players. Like, probably more so than any game I've ever seen. In fact, I often find myself doing summons for new champions that they come out with without having to spend a penny on the game, because you could just get so many free summon crystals playing the game. Generally, you want to hit at least 300 summons whenever there's a new champion that comes out. And I have almost no trouble hitting that whatsoever. So whether you want to spend no money or a little money, this game's really friendly for those players. So that's how I can afford to play multiple games, is like I don't really have to spend much on this one. Also, this is more of a resource management and team building game than it is a tile matching game, because it's not a tile matching game at all. So you don't have to spend your time fighting by paying close attention to like what's happening with tiles on the board. It does save a little bit of time, but more what's happening here is you're spending your time building up your champions, putting traits on them, putting a team together. Like I'll show you one of the teams that I have here that I've put together. You want to come up with good synergies and then let them go, send them on their way. Where you place them matters a whole lot. So that's what that's about here. And then lastly, one thing I really like about this game is that any champion can be any rarity and any level. Like, let me go back to my roster and show you what I mean. These are all mythic champions, and you can see the gold ones are legendary. Once we get to some of those here, there's one. Okay, but there's also epic, which are purple, and there's rare that's blue. And then if we really scroll down, you can see how many champions I have. My gosh. And they were all almost like completely free, which is unbelievable. But there's some green ones, which are commons here. I'm not going to dive all into that now. Make sure to watch my videos on Bloodline Champions of Lithus if you're curious about that. But what this means is you can take any champion at any rarity and level all the way up to the highest. And that's just amazing. That means anybody can compete, whether you're free to play or cheap to play, or you want to spend money because there's certain champions or certain effects that you want. It's just a really flexible game. So if you're interested in what some of this gameplay looks like, I'll just jump into the arena here and do a quick match. I'm sorry, Toxa, he's in my alliance. I don't necessarily want to hit him, but I'm going to. He's actually the leader of our guild here. I just want you to see what some of this action looks like. It is beautiful. In fact, I'll slow it down a little bit here. I have it on the 2x. All right, so that's what that looks like. You can see that there's not actual tile matching going on here. I put a lot of time and energy into creating my champions the way they are so that I could build a team and basically set them loose on my opponents there. And there's like millions of ways you can assemble this. So anyway, these are the two games that I find I am playing more than I'm playing Empires and Puzzles now. Those are my reasons why. There are links for both games in the description of this video, so make sure to use those if you want to join me in either one or both. And if you enjoy videos like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification, and I will catch you in the next one.